Hello YouTube, it's time for Dimensions End Entropy Tier 17 and its subsequent guide. It is releasing on November 17th at 2 o'clock AM UTC and comes with Ultimate Bahamut and Kuja's LD, Burst, and Rework. Before we get started, I'm going to ask that you all like this video. It helps with the algorithm, spreads the video around, share it, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, wherever you go. Comment with your plan team. I'll be responding to all the comments, so feel free to ask about anything, throw a team out there, etc. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. I do both JP and global content, help the channel grow. I'm trying to hit 2,000 subscribers for the end of the year. I do monthly guides on these, working with the Tonberry Troupe. Check out my playlist in the card for other Dimensions End guides if you're trying to catch up as well. And let's get started. The layout of this video will be in the description and in the pinned comment with timestamps. First, I'm going to go through the stage theme, then I'm going to hit the recommended roles, break each wave down, list the top units in my opinion, and then we'll close it out. First off, we have the stage theme. You can see on the Square Enix slide right here that the tier is range resist. That's the big one. And the second big one is there's no brave gain. Batteries, brave regen, brave refund, anything that grants you brave with a green number is gone. It's similar to the Abyss we got earlier. There's 3 enemies in each wave, and there's 1 main boss with 2 additional enemies. So the main boss is the one you want to focus. Recommended roles. Starting off, per usual, nothing here is required. It's suggested to let you have an easier time. If you're looking to build a solid team for this tier, these recommendations will help you choose. This is focused on units who come around the release of the tier, but anyone can swap in as long as you get the W, and that's what matters, and that's what this will hopefully help you do. First, we have battery independent supports. Units who provide a lot of battery and rely on it are going to be suboptimal for this tier. Similarly, this happened, like I said earlier, in the Abyss and the purple aura from Shinryu Lufenia. Units with brave hits and minimal to no battery will flourish here. So this is going to be people who can help out your party, such as Kuja, Kurasame, Nine, Desh, and Bosch. The second role I think you should hit is off-turn damage. Counters and traps are going to have a huge impact here because the amount of enemies, 3 per wave. You can sit back and laugh while they do damage, and you don't ramp up your turn count. The more the enemy acts, the potentially easier you can take them out, and counters do just that. Examples of this are Emperor, 8, Gao, Gladio, or if you enchant him, Trey. Lastly, you have AoE damage dealers, who are a great role for this tier. It's just 3 enemies in each wave, and AoE damage will handle them very well. 100% AoE damage shines like no other. Splash is also very good to focus on the main one and hit the adds at the same time, and then split damage is cool too. AoE Brave Shave is very nice, and this is a super flexible role, so don't feel the need again to force this into the tier. But single target damage dealers aren't going to be too great at the same time. Recent examples of these strong AoE damage dealers are Strago, Kefka, Squall, Shantoto, or Ultimecia perhaps. Now we're going to break down this tier by wave. Starting with wave 1, we have the boss, which is the Lunatic Commander Beast, and the 2 Lunatic Worker Beasts on each side. They don't resist anything but range, per usual for the tier. We saw a copy paste of this boss in Abyss actually, so if you've done that, you're familiar exactly with this first wave. While the Lunatic Commander Beast is targeting its allies, it can buff its adds with attack and brave regen, or attack, defense, and speed up, and it can also order its allies to cover it on single target brave attacks with aid. This wave isn't too dangerous. The main boss can potentially unleash a brave plus HP with high turn rate if it's not broken, but odds are you're going to keep this thing broken. At the same time, it's easier for you to get broken because there's no battery allowed, so watch out for that. I'm sneaking up on you. The adds generally brave attack, but sometimes they can swift claw, which has high turn rate and can catch you off guard with an HP attack if they speed up, or you can brave shave them. But again, you probably won't see this if you're being careful enough. The strategy, per all the other waves, is to just focus the main beast down. If the adds are killed and the boss gets enough turns, it will revive the adds, so try and kill them around the same time. If you don't let the main beast get another turn. Additionally, the adds survive even if the main boss is dead. So if you happen to not kill the main boss before it revives the adds and they're back, you will have to kill them again before you can go into the next wave. That being said, this wave is pretty straightforward, and I don't think people will have much trouble with this. Wave 2 is the Lunatic Swarmfly and 2 Lunatic Small Swarmflies. This is from the Renoa Lost chapter. These bosses are not harmful at all. They have no resistances besides range resist again. This boss remains non-threatening. You just can't battery, so it's easier to get broken. That being said, it does get high turn rate when breaking or hitting a broken target, which is easier to happen now since you can't battery. Even then, it's really not that threatening. It can inflict poison on you, speed down, turn rate down, and attack down. The main boss can attack and heal the ads and vice versa. The ads can heal the main boss. This thing can get HP regen as well. Again, per all the waves here, it's best to focus on the main boss and take the ads out through splash or split damage. The ads do die with the main boss this time, so you can dedicate even more energy to just taking the main guy out, because as soon as he goes down, the rest will go down as well. Lastly, we have wave 3. The boss is the Lamia Queen with a Lys mannequin and a Lulu mannequin. The Lamia Queen is water weak. If you bring Rydia or Garnet, I guess that's cool, but it shouldn't really make a difference, honestly. Starting from left to right, we have the Lys mannequin, which opens with an enemy party battery and then high turn rate. So she'll speed up real quickly after she batteries them. After this, she'll follow up with her AoE split HP attack. This can actually catch you off guard if you're not careful, so try not to get broken by it or just don't let her act in the first place. Lys is otherwise harmless with low HP since she's a mannequin, low defense, and she'll get burned down pretty quickly, assuming you're fighting it like normal chaos. Next we have the Lamia Queen, who will open up with Charm and disable who she attacks for a turn. She can debuff speed down as well. Her priority, however, in this tier is to revive mannequins, so if you take either Lys or Lulu out, her next action, if she's targeting someone, will shift to reviving them ASAP. It'll cancel her next action. So if you do take out a mannequin, be aware that they're going to get revived very soon. Lulu is the least threatening unit here, which is a nice mirror to her current state in the game. Yikes. She has no Brave plus HP attacks, just Brave attacks and HP attacks. However, she can inflict fire resist down on you and then fire enchant the party to do more damage on you. So she's a bit more of an enabler, but not dangerous on her own. Strategy wise, if you still have your summon here, which you probably should, and a burst perhaps, you can burn them down very quickly here. It's possible for none of the enemies to get a turn. If Lys gets to act, brace for the battery and the high turn rate, which might end up with you eating a lot of HP attacks from the enemies, but otherwise you shouldn't see anything dangerous or out of the ordinary. Keep them broken and burn them down like you would during a normal chaos. Top units. Now, I'm leaning towards more recent units again, just to help people do the stage on release, but there's a lot of sub-ins for this, and if you're watching this later down the line, feel free to pick anyone who's providing a similar role. My number one unit around the time of release for this tier is Kurasame. He has no battery outside of his Ice Pillar follow-up, which has a Brave gain afterwards, and he's got a lot of Brave hits in his kit. The speed down on his framed Ice Imperil helps keep the multiple bosses in check with you having turn control. HP damage up on his debuff also lets your primary damage dealers destroy the bosses faster. He has solid auras, and he's at his best here in my opinion. Next we have Kuja, who is leaning into the support and party damage role at the same time, more of a hybrid. He's providing party holy enchant and a framed imperil, which can let ranged units actually partake in the battle, or he can let your other damage dealers do more damage in the first place by their hitting weakness. His LD can't Brave refund in the middle, so it's not going to hit as hard, but that's fine since it's only got 3 uses. He excels in AoE damage. He does split, splash, and 100% AoE, and he's going to be an absolute killer here. Next we have Strago. He is an insane AoE damage dealer with double cast. If you have his armor, especially his Lufenia armor, he's just going to sneeze and delete waves like crazy. Throw some support on him, some extra HP damage up, enchant, and he's going to clean house. He will control this entire wave. It's pretty funny to watch. Probably the best AoE damage dealer we have at the moment, and he doesn't rely on Brave gains at all outside of his HP attack, which is single target, and you probably won't be using that anyways. Next we have 8, who does massive counter damage, the strongest counters in the game, 2 of them, 1 splash, 1 single target. He evades everything dangerous, as pretty much all the attacks minus the last wave on this tier are going to be single target. He'll taunt them and take any problems you have away pretty much. There's no guaranteed hit, so 8 is the real winner here. He's going to do insane damage, and although the fight might take a little longer because he's going to spend a lot of it countering, he's doing insane amounts of damage. Enchant him and watch him go to work. Lastly, we have Gao. Gao is a counter character who counters regardless of who gets hit, assuming they get hit. If someone evades like Gala for 8, he will not follow up after their hit, but he now has an enchant. He has a stronger AoE counter. He'll heal you on the off turns in case you encounter something dangerous, which you probably won't, but really the enchant and the off-turn damage is really why you want to bring him here. Slap him along another damage dealer or stack him with Gladio possibly, and you're going to be doing a crazy amount of damage without even having to press buttons. It's just great. I will be providing a link to some of these runs I've been displaying in a playlist in the card if you want to check out some potential runs. And I'm thinking I'm going to be running Desh, Kurasame, and Strago. That's the team I'm thinking of. We'll see how that pans out because I always change my mind. But stay tuned for that one. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your team in the comments. Ask any questions you got, and I'll be hitting y'all up. Thanks for watching again, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.